Today is March 15th, 2023. I just seriously want to talk to you guys about a few things going on in my past visions and dreams, and how the Lord is coming up on me strong, really strong, in the last year and a half. And it seems like it's quickened in me more wisdom, more compassion, just more of everything and less of me. Just complete, like, unison with Him. And I usually have to take things for anxiety, but in the last year, to be honest, my anxiety has completely almost went away, and I find myself way more calmer, attentive, able to listen, instead of just doing all the talking. That's not me. He's teaching me to talk differently. I was a very fast talker with the anxiety. Even with drinking soft drinks still and coffee, He's still calming my spirit. But there are times when the Holy Ghost comes over me, and it's hard not to laugh and giggle and love the tingling of the warm hug. But, you know, I had those two visions, and I haven't had a vision since. So I focus on those two visions. The one where I was raptured and went to heaven and saw some things, and the vision of the end times, which I don't talk about that one that much. I don't even think I've posted it on here yet. I don't think the Lord has put it on my heart to give you the vision that I had in 2016, but He's let me give you bits and pieces in when I talk about the end times. I think I need to ask Him about that one. Okay, well, we'll just go ahead and go with it. We've got 30 minutes, okay. So this vision I had in 2016, it was cold, so I think it was fall 2016. I'm going to say it's about October 2016, because that's when I spiritually woke up and a lot of stuff happened. In 2016 and 17, a lot of things my family didn't understand, because I was woke up like standing on the edge of hell unknowingly, and my father reached out and grabbed me. This is the beginning of the vision. I was playing on my iPhone. I think it was an iPhone 5 or 6, you know, and I was addicted to this iPhone. Addicted. And back in those days, I was fighting for custody of my daughters, and my third marriage was falling apart. I spent a lot of time alone. Grieving for my son and my 3 daughters that CPS took away. Going to court every day, going to custody hearings, going to family team meetings, going to visitations. You have no idea what it's like to fight for your children like that, especially after you've lost one. So I was in a very dark place to where I was just a zombie and going through the motions because I couldn't even grieve my son. I couldn't help my husband. I couldn't help my girls. They wanted to come home. I don't know. I was going through a lot. So I delved into like my phone, and I was always addicted to my phone because I was so lonely. I just didn't feel like I even had any friends in the world. Forgot about Jesus. I forgot how he could be your best friend and he could get you through everything. Well, I was playing with my iPhone, and I think I was standing out in the yard, and I felt like this warm hand on my shoulder, and all of a sudden there was fire all around me. This is a vision. I'm completely awake. There's fire all around me, and my one foot is in fire, and then it opened up more, and I could see hell, and I was about to step off the edge, and the hand on my shoulder was like, "Do you see where you are?" And I jumped back from that pit, and immediately I looked down at my phone with the bite out of the apple on it and said, "It's you. Your technology. You're the beast system." Like, because I think God was still with me, and this knowledge was coming into me really quick that I was about to go to hell. That I was about to not come back from where I was going. I was that brainwashed by the telephone. Yes, brainwashed. Extremely brainwashed. Believing everything that they were putting in there. This is how I woke up too, was from this vision. This is when I spiritually woke up. Well, I went in the house and I got a hammer. It's an iPhone 5, not paid for. Went outside, beat the living daylights out of that thing, threw it to the side, and I went up and sat on my porch. And I was upset. But the Lord was still with me. And I said, "I'm so mad. That thing took me away from you." And I immediately started like praying. Like, "I'm so sorry. Forgive me. I don't know what I was doing." And his hand was still on my shoulder, and he said, "I have something to show you tonight." And I had no clue what was about to happen. So I went in the house. I got me a drink. I think I got another pack of cigarettes. Yes, I happen to be a smoker, which the Lord is working with me on that. And he is going to break the curse of smoking on me. But I went in the house, got a soft drink, got a pack of cigarettes, and went and checked on my husband. He was asleep in bed. So I went back out to the porch, sat down, and started praying with God again, aka talking to him. And it felt like catching up with an old friend. And he wasn't very talkative. He was like, "I'm going to show you something." He was very serious this day. I mean, he just saved me from the grips of hell. And I don't know what was that I was that close to hell. Like, maybe my mind was going into retrograde. I don't know. He's never revealed to me. I just know that technology really had me brainwashed to where I completely have forgotten all about God and Jesus, eternity, everything. And I was so focused on my girls and getting them back that that's all I could focus on, that, and just trying to relax when I got home. And I was up on the porch, And when I went in to get a drink, I realized it was like 11:30. And I'm sitting on the porch. There's this thing in the distance, this cell phone tower. And I look at the cell phone tower all the time. I've lived there almost 2 years. You know, it's a cell phone tower, aka telephone tower, or airplane tower, sorry. It's always red. But like right before dawn, or right before dusk, and right before dawn, when it turns dawn, it turns white. It's a white light. But at night, it's red. During the day, and like 7 o'clock, 7:30, whatever time it gets dark, they turn it red. So anyways, this red light's over there. And I don't know why, but I keep looking at it. You know, when I sit out on the porch, it calms me. Just blinks. But anyways, I was watching it this night. And all of a sudden, this thing starts acting just nuts. And mind you, people, I'm not on any, like, drugs. I'm not on anything. I'm on soft drinks, you know, and stress, and just seeing hell. But you gotta understand, this is my second vision, so it didn't scare me. Okay, it terrified the crap out of me, because the first time he took me to heaven, this time I just looked at hell and I almost stepped in there. So I look over at this red light, and it's like, it's not like blinking anymore. It's completely like standing still. Okay. And this is the beginning of the vision. I always got it wrong, but this is the beginning of the vision. I had these fan wind things in my yard, and the wind was blowing, and the frogs were not out. Like I told you, this was fall. Yeah, it was still fall enough where the frogs were, because the frogs were making their noises that night. The bullfrogs on the pond nearby. And there was like natural sound, but all of a sudden that red light, it just stopped blinking. And the wind stopped blowing, and the bullfrogs stopped making noises. There was literally no sound at all. And the light stopped blinking, and I was just like, whoa. Is this another vision? You know, I'm thinking in my mind, you know, because I've only had one. So this, I'm kind of scared, you know, because, you know, I don't do a lot of drugs, but I did when I was a kid. I experimented with a drug when I was young. And it's kind of like that, a vision sometimes when it's scary. The first one was just such a great vision, and this one was total opposite. When he thinks everything stands still, wind stands still, the frogs weren't making noises, that light stood still, and I hear the flutter of wings, like not normal wings, like angel wings, and I knew they were angels, but I couldn't see them, and they stopped over where I lived, and they just stood there, flapping their wings. I knew they were above me. And I was like, what's going on? I was freaking out. I was like, what's going on? Nobody was answering me. And God told me, be still and know that I am God. And I was like, okay. And I didn't even know what that verse meant. But when my parents used to tell me to be still, I knew what that meant. It meant keep my butt, you know, right there on the porch. Pay attention, you know, straighten up, you know. So be still and know that I'm God. So that meant, said still, watch. So they flew off, and then after they flew off, that light over there, it got brighter again, and then all of a sudden it started dropping to the ground and going back up, and dropping and going to the ground and coming back up, and it was like bouncing like a ball, like boom, 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 and I have no clue. Like I've told you guys before, I can't interpret visions or dreams, And I was like, oh my goodness, what does that mean? But Dad has been working with me over the last couple of years, revealing things on my first vision, and on this vision, and I'll tell you guys about it later. But anyways, it was boom, 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 boom. And then in the distance, I could see the town lights, and there was these monsters in the distance over there by that light. And I don't know, I said it out loud. I was like, oh my goodness, what's going on? Those poor people, what's happening? I don't know, it's like I knew that like people were being tortured during this timeline. And then somehow I knew that this was a timeline. And this went on and went on and went on and went on and went on. And finally I ran out of soft drink. Went in the house to get another soft drink. Looked at the clock. And it was like almost 3 o'clock in the morning. It was probably like 5 minutes till 3. Go back outside. It's still doing the same thing. Bounce, 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 bounce. I'm sorry. I went in and got a soft drink. Went to the bathroom. And as I'm coming back through, I hear the voice, hurry up, get back out there. So I'm like, okay. So I go get a drink and I go back on the porch. It's like 5 minutes till 3. And the bouncing's still going on, and those tremendous, gigantic, giants are like in the background, and they're still doing their thing. They're still like torturing people. I just knew that. And then all of a sudden, the light goes back up, and those things, they just disappear. It's like they went underground. So something was going on. That light went back up, and it stood still again. It didn't blink. The wind stopped again. The frogs stopped again. And all of a sudden, this light started coming from out of nowhere. I thought it was a drone. So this light, right in front of me, starts going out of nowhere. And I was like, well, that's a drone. Or plane, or, one time a helicopter had, shined their lights on our property. I don't know why in the middle of the night. But they did. And, so I didn't think much of it, but it was like coming at me, getting stronger and stronger. And all of a sudden I was like, that's Jesus. That's Jesus. And I was like, how do I know that's Jesus? How do I know that's Jesus? And I was just sitting there, and it was like I was getting knowledge from God. And it was coming closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. To where now it was ascending down onto the earth, okay? And it came down, and like I told you, everything had stood still for his arrival. And it was like there was complete chaos right before he came, but then there was this stillness when he came. And as he was here, these lights are like running from all over in every direction, I'm guessing all over the world, going to him. But they're not really running to him. He's collecting them. I just know that. They're asleep. They're awake. And this goes on for I don't know how long. But long enough for me to go back in the house, check and make sure that my husband wasn't getting raptured and I was getting left behind. Because I tried to leave the porch, and I heard God say, get back on the porch. Because I wanted to run towards that light. I really did. I wanted to take off across the field and go towards that light, because I'd felt that love before. And I knew that love. And that love only came from heaven. I knew that was Jesus. Now, God's talking to me. I know he is. And then there's also an angel with me. I don't know if he's in charge of me, but he's that hand that was on my shoulder. It wasn't God's hand. It was this angel's hand, okay? A good angel. So these lights are going, and it took everything I had not to step off the porch, to where I was sitting on the steps just watching in amazement at all these lights just all over, just coming to him. And I knew this was harvest time. And then all of a sudden, this last light went towards him, and he went up in the sky just as when he had came. And all of a sudden you didn't see the light no more. And During this time that he's collecting all these lights, I ran in the house to see what time it was. And it was exactly 3:15. So from like 3:15, or from like 3 o'clock, like I said, from 3 o'clock till 3:30, he collected people. He collected people for 30 minutes, which I've researched that, and there's a 30 minutes of silence in heaven, in Revelation. So, like I had this back in 2006, I've been trying to look for all the clues that are in the vision. So it was like 30 minutes of time. From 3 to 3:30, he collected people. So after he left, this darkness came up on the earth. I mean, it was thick as a fog. It was scary. You know how the scariest you've ever been in your life? To where like your heart and your hair is standing up on the back of your neck. Your heart's like going to beat out of your chest and you can't breathe. It was that scarier times 10. I didn't want to be out there. And then all of a sudden, I just started rebuking everything around me. I felt like I was blind. And I was rebuking because I could feel like evil, like beings coming near me from all angles and everywhere. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what's going on? What's going on? And they were ascending up on the earth, and it was freaking me out. And I wanted to go in the house, and the Lord said, stand still. I need you here. This was after 3:30, and after Jesus had done raptured the saints. And this was post-rapture. And as these things came up on the earth, I saw planes falling out of the sky. So I'm guessing that's an EMP. I've researched that. It could also be, after the rapture, there's going to be some plane crashes. Could be many things. But I'm going with an EMP because that's what I heard standing on that porch was an EMP. And it was like dark. So it was like the 3 days of dark were like almost instantly. But I'm not for sure. I don't know. It is like Jesus went and it was like boom. And it was panic and chaos with these demons, and I'm guessing humans too, because I didn't see any humans in this vision, except for the ones that were being tortured before Jesus came. The planes fell out of the sky, and all of a sudden, over to the left, all these things come out of my woods with green eyes, and I was like, that's it. I opened the door to my home, and I went in. But I was peeking out the blinds, and these things were looking at my place with their green eyes. Green and yellow eyes. And they just took off running like a pack. I thought it was coyotes, but they weren't coyotes. They were different sizes and shapes and forms of beings. And it was so scary. At first, it looked like a pack of wolves. And then they transformed themselves into like their real being self. Like some of them were really, really tall, like giants. And I was so scared. I went in there and sat down on the couch. And I just didn't want to look out the window for the moment. Look up at the clock. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know why, but the whole time God's wanting me to watch the clock. And I'm hearing howling and screaming out there. And once again, there's no natural sounds at all up on the earth. It's like natural sounds are done. It's like a horror movie out there. A slaughter. People are screaming. It's a slaughter. Okay? A slaughterhouse. And, I would not go back out there on the porch. But he had urged me to look out every once in a while, and I would look out, and I would see fire and flames, and things were burning, and there was these robots that had lasers on them, and they were detecting people in their houses from like their body heat, and those machines that they use when they're detecting ghosts or spirits or whatever with the cold spots. Well, these had heat sensors on them, and they could find people anywhere underground in their bunkers, because there was a lot of people hiding in bunkers at this time. And these robots, kind of like the War of the World, but they were like drones too, because they could fly around. Nobody was operating them that I know of, but they would heat sensor, and they could go through a bunker wall and kill you instantly with their laser. And it was very scary. And there was a lot of like rich elite people that had signed contracts with the devil. They were hiding in Colorado. And God said that it will become their tomb. And that scared me, because I've known about the bunker in Colorado for a long time. And he told me it was going to become their tomb. There's even bunkers under the sea that he showed me. He said they will not hide from me. And they were being tortured badly. There was only like a few of them, like the top notches, like the Antichrist and the false prophet. And those 10 nations, those 10 rulers, they were the only ones that were like, I don't know, it was horrible people. And for years I've researched it, and that is my second vision from 2016, is the Left Behind people. If you guys are dream interpreters, I would love more of that. Still trying to interpret it. Dad's been bringing things to me, because like I told you, it started around 11:30 and it ended at 6 a.m. So it was like a 6 hour, maybe 7 hour vision long. It was all night until the morning. My husband got up for work and the sunlight came up until I felt safe again. So maybe the 7 means 7 years. Maybe it was 7.5 hours long. I just remember after I busted the iPhone is that he was like telling me I needed to start watching the time, and I didn't bust my phone, so I was looking at the clock on the wall. Also, when I had went in there at 3 o'clock and everything was standing still, my clock on the wall has a thing that measures the oxygen in the air and the humidity. Both of those were on 0. And they've never been on 0 in my life. The humidity, and they measure, I think, oxygen or something else in the air. They were both on 0, which they usually stay. One stays on 80, and the other one stays like 40 to 60. These were both on 0. It was so bad. Except from 3 to 3:30 when Jesus was gathering all his saints, and it was like a sleep had came over the world, and he was only gathering those saints. I don't know, it was so quiet. Everything stood still for the great King in the sky, for Jesus, for the most amazing creation ever. It's not even a creation. For the most amazing being in all the universe had come to earth to collect his bride. It was just amazing, that part. The rest of it scared the crap out of me. So that is my second vision that God has ever gave me. It came in 2016. Usually my visions are like 7 years, and then they come true. Donald Trump said he was running for president in 2015, I think. And he became president in 2016. I had the dream of him in 2010, but Ben Carson was not in the dream. So, joke's on me, that one's going to go in 2024. This other one that, I think they go hand in hand. I really do. But I love you guys, and that's my second vision, and that I got from the Lord, and that was in 2016. He hasn't gave me one since, but he's gave me lots of dreams and confrontations, but no awake visions. I know a lot of people get visions and dreams, but I've had 2 visions. That's the second one since all this began. My spiritual awakening. But I've had lots of dreams, both from him and from spirits, and I've had to rebuke them and clean house again and keep the hedge of protection up around us. And I've grown so much. The bad dreams, basically, the devil is fleeing from me. Finally, thankfully, if you refuse him, he'll flee from you. So, amen. That's my second vision, and only had 2 visions. So, there it is. I love you guys. I'm praying for you.